welcome to Terror in Tandem's Octerrorfest. All month long, we will be celebrating the horrifying delights of the spookiest month, October. Prepare yourself for episodes that frighten and delight in your spine as we chill you to the bone. You can find us on YouTube at Terror in Tandem, on Instagram at Terror in Tandem, and you'll always find our latest episode on our website, you guessed it, terrorinTandem.com.
That was great.
.biz. .co.uk.
.gov.
So, welcome to another edition of world-famous, renowned, and clamored for, award-winning, money-printing episode of Terror in Tandem, Octerrorfest. Is this the fourth year? Is this Octerrorfest 4?
Yeah, it's 4.
Okay. So in the franchise, there would be the fourth movie. It's like the return
of Octerrorfest.
Or a new beginning. Because usually it's like
the curse of.
Yeah, around the third movie is when things start to maybe go off the rails a little bit. So maybe the fourth movie is where they experiment or they bring back the OGs to like...
Yeah, it could be Octerrorfest, Legends.
Nice. I like that. The college years. So... What are we doing this October? I mean, the weather, we had ourselves a nor'easter, which for those of you who don't live in the northeast is what we call a storm.
Yeah, rain, cold.
Yeah, it's just
sometimes it's snow and others.
It's a special word we have for a storm. I'm sure
it's nice. I like it.
I'm sure there's something more to it that I'm missing because I am not looking it up or interested in doing so, but yeah, I like it too because it gets like like at noon the sky darkens and it looks like the sun is looks like nighttime.
What he's trying to say is it's a perfect time and has been a perfect time to watch horror movies and shows. Here at Terror in Tandem headquarters, we believe is all times. Also, particularly now, the leaves are changing color beautifully.
Ooh, the peepers are out, everyone.
Yeah,
we are looking at the foliage. We are enjoying the masterpiece that is a tree. So anyway, what are we going to talk about today in our Octerrorfest edition, 4th year episode number ?
We're doing something kind of special for this Octerrorfest is we're looking at a franchise of films and we're going to talk about the highs and lows of the franchise.
Now, this is not a franchise normally associated with the season, so please stick with us because we're taking a little bit of a creative leap here.
It's not true. It is exactly what you would think. If you had only one guess as to what franchise we would be picking for Octerrorfest for this October episode.
Phantasm.
What would it be? Drop your DMs now.
All right. Well, the phones are lighting up.
Well, those aren't DMs. Those are phone calls.
I thought you said BMs, and I have made a terrible mistake.
Anyway, it's Halloween.
Halloween
is the franchise that we're going to be talking about the highs and lows. And some of you may be surprised and others may not be surprised at all. And some of us have seen every single one of the Halloween movies in the franchise, and one of us hasn't. And that's fine.
I have. I've seen them all. I've seen every one of them. There are so many.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, multiple timelines.
Yes.
Like an absurd amount of... Like in comic books, how when you have a character that's been in existence for 90 years, you just keep like rebooting because the continuity gets all weird. That happens a lot in this franchise.
Yeah, are you going to give us some insight into...
We will get all into that, but I want to talk a little bit about why Halloween? Despite the obvious, I feel like you were onto something when you were talking earlier about how it's the one that everyone would choose, because it is. It's the kind of unofficial mascot of the holiday itself.
Yeah, because the first film came out in the late 70s. And so our entire existence is surrounded by Michael Myers and the films of the Halloween franchise. For better or for worse, for the past, 5 decades, it has been Michael Myers and Halloween around Halloween. And so October always kind of gives you that, like no other horror franchise has it really been based on Halloween.
Well, I think part of it,
there's others that have tried, there's some that are like new and coming up and whatever, but
part of it definitely has to do with the fact that this movie, while not inventing the slasher genre, cemented it and, really took the crown, became the one by which all others are measured. But it was also an invasion into, white suburban middle class America. Like Haddonfield, Illinois is Everytown, USA. It's he's going after Laurie Strode, a babysitter, good high school student, and little kids like Tommy Doyle.
And it's a family thing.
Yeah, and it's like little blonde kids, and it's just the idea that while the parents are, doing stuff at night, their kids are getting slaughtered right in front, like basically right in their home, in their backyard, in their bedrooms. Like it's happening in your home. And I think this was, coming at sort of the height of the cynicism post-Vietnam and Watergate 1970s, this level of you're actually not safe anywhere. You're never safe. This fucking unstoppable, murder machine can just burst into your house. It resonates, particularly with like, I can only speak as an American, but what I think is like an American sense of paranoia, especially in the suburbs of like, my home is my fortress.
But the other thing too is it lends itself pretty naturally to, is Michael Myers an urban legend or is he real? And people that don't live in Haddonfield may think it's just an urban legend.
Well, even people in Haddonfield in like subsequent movies.
Right.
But there's also the very cool and scary idea, keeping along the track of infiltration of he does this in a bunch of the movies, just walking around because it's Halloween. Everybody's out in costumes. So somebody
hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, somebody in a weird William Shatner mask and like a gas station utility outfit can just walk around and grab a few of your kids and put knives into their heads or his fingers. But I really think the reason, the staying power of it is definitely the mask design, the simplicity and the brutality of it. But it was a movie that brought the horror home. A lot of movies up until this point portrayed violent crime as a particularly urban problem. The Death Wish and Dirty Harry's and stuff like that. But this movie brought it right into your living room, and it kicked off a whole wave of suburban horror like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street and Scream and movies like that. The 80s were filled with slasher movies in the suburbs.
But like here's where it's successful as a Halloween movie. Scream does take place around Halloween for some of the movies. But it is not necessarily thought of as a Halloween movie. Friday the 13th franchise is definitely a summer movie, summer movie.
Yeah.
It's not a Halloween movie.
I think being called Halloween might help with that too.
Yeah, of course. But it always has, I haven't seen every single one, but for the most part, they do take Halloween
place on or around
timelines.
Halloween.
Yes.
Yeah. It's also called Halloween.
So you want to jump into understanding the franchise a bit?
Oh gosh.
Well, as much as you can.
Here's the thing. Throughout the 70s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, I don't know. There was a lot of different time periods, a lot of different attitudes in the studios, a lot of different ways to get movies made, and things really kind of go nuts. I'm just gonna jump right into it. There's no easy way to explain this. Halloween, the franchise Halloween itself, has several different timelines. Now, what I mean by that is there's something known as it's like the continuity of what happened. Did what happened in this previous sequel matter to what's happening right now? And the answer is sometimes. So there is the Thorn timeline, which begins with Halloween 1, and that's the one that begins with Michael Myers and then as just being kind of inexplicable, and then really leans it heavily into him becoming a supernatural Celtic murder machine being controlled by a cult. So the Thorn...
That it's 1 through 5?
Nope. It's 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6.
Okay.
Now, this one includes the death of Laurie Strode, the...
and 6 is the Curse of Michael Myers?
Yes, with Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
That's the one with the Cult of Thorn heavily played into it. This is the one that has, the Jamie Lloyd, daughter of Laurie Strode storyline, which is actually has some of my highlights, to be honest. And it takes a lot of big swings. Not all of them are paid off. Not all of them make sense. And then the 6th one, quite notoriously, has 2 very different cuts. There's the producer's cut, which I think is considered the definitive version. But yeah. So anyway, that's the Thorn timeline. There's also the H2O timeline, which
is my favorite timeline.
Yes, and that's the one I think most like OG Halloween fans kind of stick to. It's
my favorite and least favorite all clumped together because
Yeah.
it does include Resurrection, right?
Yes, this is the one that is Halloween 1 and 2, Halloween 7 and 8. So Halloween 1 and 2, Halloween H2O, and then Halloween Resurrection.
Halloween H2O, 20 years later.
Yes. Now this is, Michael Myers. It keeps the twist that he and Laurie Strode are actually brother and sister,
which came out in the second film.
The second film. Yep. So that stays. It excises everything from the Jamie Lloyd, Danielle Harris storyline. So she doesn't have a daughter. None of that stuff. And it just goes right into the 20 years later. She has a final confrontation with Michael.
She has a son.
Yeah. That's a totally different thing. But the H2O timeline gets rid of everything that happened in 4 and 5 and 6.
And 3.
Well, 3
is its own
thing. 3 is not included in any timeline.
Halloween 3 is Season of the Witch. We'll get to that.
I'll get to that. Now, okay, so the Thorn timeline, the H2O timeline. Then there's the Zombie timeline, which is the Rob Zombie directed Halloween 1 and 2.
But 2007, 2009, 1 and 2, not 1978, 81, 1 and 2.
Just called Halloween and then Halloween 2. Now, this one gets a little bit of props for bringing Danielle Harris, the actress, back in a different role, and that's it. It is very much its own thing. It establishes its own thing. It's its own thing. It's not attached in any way to the Thorn or the H2O timelines. Okay, then there is the reboot timeline, the one that has the most recent entries. Now, this one canonizes Halloween, the original, but then it skips all of the sequels and goes straight into Halloween 2018.
So it could essentially be Halloween H2O : 30 years later.
H3O. Now,
is it 30 or 40?
It's
78 to 18. That's 40.
That's 40.
So 40 years later.
No, it's 40. So
we're not good at math.
No, gosh, that's why we have a podcast about movies.
Anyway, it's the David Gordon Green of it all.
Yes. Now, this one canonizes Halloween 1, skips all the sequels, goes into its own trilogy. Now, the most significant thing that does is they actually address this. They say that the idea that Laurie Strode and Michael Myers are siblings was just a rumor. That never happened. That's not true. So in the reboot timeline, she was haunted by, and attacked by Michael Myers in the 70s. He goes away for decades.
She's the ultimate final girl.
None of the sequels happen. She doesn't have Jamie. She does have a daughter, but it's not Jamie Lloyd. None of the Cult of the Thorn stuff. She's not related to Michael Myers in any way. Michael Myers is obsessed with her because she's the only one that survived his massacre, that's not even true. I mean, Tommy Doyle made it. He's in Halloween Kills. But, it just... So anyway, the reboot timeline goes Halloween 1, Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends. Is everyone with me?
Yeah.
Great.
So you can choose also another way to watch, which is in chronological order.
Yeah, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then the Rob Zombie movies, then the reboot trilogy.
Or you could watch in order of release, which...
No, that's the one I just did.
Okay.
That's order of release.
Yeah.
Chronological order, don't even bother. Jesus Christ, who knows? Like I just said, there's 4 different timelines. So time is a flat Mandela.
I'm just going to get it out there because I think I've already gotten it out there and said it. My favorite timeline is the H2O timeline.
Without 8. We just stop it. This is the Laura timeline. The Laura timeline is Halloween 1, 2.
2 I can take or leave, but I know you need it for continuity.
It's part of it.
Yeah.
1, 2, and 7.
Yeah.
That's it. With 3 as a fun aside, because I know you like the third one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, because that's its own movie.
It's its own movie.
It doesn't have anything to do with Laurie Strode.
And yet, it is amongst my heights.
I guess there's also another way to look at it. The Laurie Strode continuity timelines, which Laurie Strode reboot 1 is the one that I prefer. Reboot 2 is the one that David Gordon Green did.
Yeah, I mean, Halloween H2O, we just did a now, often cited by experts episode on legacy sequels. H2O was a legacy sequel.
Yeah, but we skipped it because we were going to talk about it for this.
I mean, yeah, we didn't talk about every single legacy sequel anyone's ever done.
No.
Gosh, come on.
But
people here.
Here's the legacy sequel answer. I would say of our exceeds, succeeds, or disappoints, I would say it succeeds.
Now,
not
the Halloween,
exceeds, but succeeds.
The Halloween franchise
IMO.
is fascinating because, the thing that makes it so interesting and makes it so frustrating is it's a risk-taking franchise. Like, it really does try new things. It establishes some legendary genre tropes, but it also it takes big swings. On the downside, some of those things don't always work. Also on the downside, eventually it got sold to Dimension and Harvey Weinstein got involved. And that's where you get Halloween Resurrection and, all the stuff with Busta Rhymes, which we'll get into.
Yeah. And there's lots of YouTube videos that you can watch on the Halloween franchise timeline if you want to see it visually represented.
You want to see someone with a neck beard wearing a hat yelling about it into a YouTube. That's what you can do.
Anyway, let's talk about our highs.
You want to get into the franchise heights?
Yeah.
I think you and I are both going to agree, and we'll just start that it's not just a franchise high, it's the height.
Yeah.
Is the original
the
Halloween.
OG.
Yeah.
We've talked about this in our John Carpenter episode. We've talked about Halloween 1978.
It's the best Halloween movie.
In our Final Girl episode because it does establish a real, tangible, visual.
It's the best movie
Final Girl.
of the Halloween franchise. It's the best Halloween themed horror movie, and it's
where we get the theme song.
It's one of the best horror movies of all time, even on its own, just without any caveats. So yeah, it's the reason being all the stuff I said earlier, the sociological stuff. Yes, that's the staying power of it, and I think that was the shock of it. But there's no fat on this movie. It is
Let me lay out the details.
Go for it.
1978, directed by John Carpenter, starring Donald Pleasance, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Tony Moran as Michael.
One of many actors to portray Michael.
Yes. So the concept of the original OG Halloween is 15 years after murdering his sister on Halloween night in 1963, Michael Myers escapes from a mental hospital and returns to the small town of Haddonfield, Illinois. And he is possessed to kill. He finds and stalks Jamie Lee Curtis. And they get into a, cat and mouse.
Yep. He picks up a big old knife and he sticks it in people.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, the thing about Michael is he's a hulking juggernaut of a man. The mask has enough distinctive features so that you know it's human, but it's vague enough to be very disconcerting. It looks like an alien attempting to be human, and when you look at it, you just feel uneasy. He's huge. He doesn't run. He's one of the he's not like Freddy Krueger. He's more like Jason. He walks everywhere. He takes his time, and especially by Halloween 4, which I think is the movie that does it the best, his hands are deadly weapons. He has such strength that when he gets a hold of you, he can crush your bones just with his fingers and his vice grip. So there's an element of if he even touches you, it's over. You're done.
I think this also shows kind of the false sense of security of, and it's kind of one of my first experiences in a horror movie of, you better make sure he's dead before you walk away from that body.
Well, yeah. And also the false sense of this kind of thing doesn't happen here.
Right.
We
meet Dr. Sam Loomis, who comes up in several of the films. And he's Michael Myers' psychiatrist.
Donald Pleasance was in 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. And while filming 6, he was very ill. He died, I think, before the movie premiered. And man, despite the wavering quality of the movies themselves, he is amazing. Born to play this role. No one else can do it like he does. He is so good.
He's kind
Dr.
of the
Loomis.
only one that ever treats Michael like a human being.
Well,
I know he's a little bit of a science experiment to him.
I think, he very famously says he spent 8 years trying to treat him as a human being. And then the rest of his time, he's very clear about the fact that he doesn't even believe Michael is human.
Yeah. Well, that's later in the...
No, he says that right in the first movie.
Okay.
Yeah, I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then the rest of my time trying to make sure he never saw the light of day again.
But he did, and he failed.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing is Loomis's guilt follows him throughout the franchise, and it's really a great subplot.
The subplot of the ineptitude of the local police, and that carries throughout all of the films that involve...
Yes. The cops, yes. However, I did draw a little bit of a contrast between the cops in the Halloween movies and the cops in the Nightmare movies, right? Because it was weird. I was rewatching a bunch of the Halloween movies, including the first, and I had sympathy for the Haddonfield police because they're small town cops, right? And they're not good at this. But who would be? Yeah,
they Freddy you can't see unless you're asleep. So they, of course, were like, oh, this is a crazy person talking about teenage craziness. Obviously, mental break. But this is actually seen as a threat. Like they do see Michael Myers as a threat.
And in the fourth movie, The Return of Michael Myers, and in the fifth movie, well, the fourth movie especially, like when Loomis comes back saying like, it's Michael, he's back, they really don't spend a lot of time going, what do you mean? They spring right into action. They're like, fuck. And they there's not a lot of like in the Freddy movies and in a lot of other horror movies, the cops spend a lot of time being like, that's bullshit, you know, blah blah blah. But the Haddonfield cops, once they clock Michael for what he is, there's not a lot of gaslighting, which I really appreciated.
Well, to your point, I mean, they're not able to handle it.
No, they're not, because
they're not equipped to handle it, and that's fine.
But like, I appreciate that. Listen, Haddonfield PD, I appreciate the fact that you don't gaslight your citizens. I think that's cool. Sorry about Michael killing so very many of you.
Yeah. And so, you know, we really just have this battle between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers, and Laurie ends up surviving, but so does Michael.
Oh, yeah.
And this isn't an end. I mean,
she shoots him. He falls out a window.
Yep. And then she looks out the window and his body's gone. And it's great. And the theme song is great. And the vibe is great. And
the first movie is perfect. There's no notes on that one. It has been often tried. Can't be.
We are going to talk about how many times it's been tried to
not
capture.
Even in Halloween, the franchise, like every other slasher trying to ape this movie, to the point where Scream basically became a deconstruction of Halloween.
I would say that one that captures its essence the best is It Follows, which is why I love it so much.
The inevitability of Michael Myers. Yeah, like once Michael Myers has your scent, that's it.
Soon to be They Follows, coming to theaters
really
next year.
Interested. Looking forward to it.
Please be good.
Please be good.
Don't ruin it.
It wouldn't ruin the first, but I would like a good one.
You know, sometimes you just have to leave well enough alone, which as we start talking about this entire franchise, we're going to show you how maybe it should have been left in 1978, and that's okay.
Yes. I agree.
And Season of the Witch doing its own thing.
A weird thing happened in rewatching some of the later sequels. I found a lot of merit even in some of the weirder shit.
Well, let's take a break and we'll come back and talk about another one of our highs, and then we'll get into the low.
And there are some of those. Hello, I'm Connor Cochran. Over a century ago, my father, Connell, came to the beautiful town of Santa Mira from a simple life in Ireland as a druidic blood priest. With just a dream and an ancient pact with demons, my father was determined to bring the joyous celebration of Samhain to America with a line of spooky, silly, and just downright fun masks. Now, as many of you know, back in 1982, the original line of silver shamrock masks, when coupled with our famous ad jingle, may have slightly turned your children's heads into writhing piles of bugs. And that's on us. But that was my dad's company, and he's dead now. Today, I am proud to announce the return of Silver Shamrock's high-quality line of spooky Halloween masks, now virtually guaranteed to leave your head in largely about the same condition it was before, mostly. So come on down to Silver Shamrock. Sure, maybe we turned thousands of kids' heads into bugs that one time, but that was like 40 years ago, before we knew that kind of stuff was wrong. So sing it with me. The clock is ticking. It's almost time. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver. Oh, my God. It's happening again. Shut it down! Shut it down! This is a fake ad for a fake product on a horror-themed podcast. Masks are fun, but they shouldn't turn your heads into bugs. Also, Halloween 3 Season of the Witch deserves a lot more love than it gets.
We're back.
Oh, we're back.
And so is Michael.
Welcome to the highs. Oh God, he is. He's always back. Always.
Well, I'm going to jump in with my next high, my only other high on this list, which is Halloween H2O : 20 years later. Yes, I understand. Is it a great movie? Maybe not. But
Is
we're
the
talking
title
about
incredibly stupid?
it's the worst title of them
Yes,
all.
the worst.
Season of the Witch is the best title.
I get that it's 20 years, but like, what does it have to do with water?
I don't know why it's called
Friday the
Halloween 20.
Halloween
H2O.
Yeah, but H2O. You're doing that on purpose. Anyway, the reason it's so stupid is because Harvey and Bob Weinstein are in charge of it now. So
We
that's
could
why.
have called it Halloween 20 years later.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's starring Jamie Lee Curtis, Josh Hartnett, Adam Arkin, and Michelle Williams. And you know
Joseph
how
Gordon-Levitt.
I feel. Yeah, well, for a minute. And you know how I feel about a teen slasher movie. I love teen slasher movies.
I also know how you feel about Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
And since this movie came out in 1998.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
damn.
it's been a while. So spoiler alerts ahead. Joseph Gordon-Levitt gets a hockey skate to the head.
Yeah, it's
pretty cool.
It's an ice skate.
Yeah, he's just a kid in it. It's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
It's like
this is like
the
his
soft
third Rock from the Sun. days.
opening. What do
Yeah.
they call that?
The cold open,
Cold open.
like an ice skate. Cold like an
Oh,
ice skate in
yeah.
your face.
And the H2O of it all, frozen water.
That must be it.
It's directed by Steve Miner, if I didn't say.
Yeah,
and,
he of many Friday the 13th sequels.
Yeah. And it's the synopsis is Laurie Strode is a dean of a Northern California private school. She's got a fake name, and she has a child played by Josh Hartnett who's 17. Briefly mentions the dad's not in the picture, which is great. There's no other mention. She's dating Alan Arkin. He's a teacher there. And she has been waking up with nightmares and does think Michael Myers is still going to come after her. But it's been 20 years, as she's reminded all the time by people around her, that it's been 20 years.
It's been aged 20 years.
He's not going to come.
No. Why would he?
There's also no real So what happens also is there's no real explanation of how Michael does end up coming to get her. He just does show up.
I mean, it's been aged 20 years. So.
Yeah, right. And then everybody believes her. And this
do they?
end of this film, again, spoiler alert, this end of this film should have ended it all.
Oh, agreed. Yeah, no, also, it's pretty definitive. Like,
We've had it all. She
off.
chops his head off. She doesn't believe, which is
about
great.
Double tapping.
Because of 1 and 2, and the continuity there is that it's
at the
her
end
brother.
Of the second one, which was originally supposed to kill Michael, by the way, he burns to death with Dr. Loomis. It's like, listen, the second movie's not super great, but it does end in a kind of nice poetic arc with the two of them burning to death.
At this point, Donald Pleasance has passed away.
Yeah, in H2O, he's dead in real life too.
And they say, I don't even know if they mention him, honestly. I really don't think they mention him at all.
I think there's an aside where it's like he's dead.
Yeah. But he comes back. She
Michael
takes him down. He's taken down. He's put in a coroner's bag. She steals the truck that he's in.
Yeah.
And drives him to the middle of nowhere, crashes the car, and he is pinned between the van and a tree, and he like reaches out to her, right, in this like last ditch sentimental, oh, my long lost sister, and she like sort of reaches for a second, and then she's like, fuck this, and takes an axe and chops his head off.
Yeah.
You should end
awesome.
it there.
That should have been
The
it
reboot
forever.
Or the legacy sequel
It just
of
tried
Laurie
to do
Strode
that
20
again.
years later. Yeah.
It's the same fucking thing.
I know.
It
Except
was-
they swapped out a daughter
Yeah, and like
and a granddaughter.
and
had to make it more complicated,
and
more
made them not
convoluted.
sister.
We'll get there.
And then
we'll
they,
get there.
They brought all of the like character actors from the original movie back.
We'll
to
get there.
to kill them.
Anyway, this is a high. This can exist with honestly, other than the brother sister time, like information nugget, that you can go from one to this and be perfectly satisfied.
Yeah, For sure.
But if you want to throw 2 in there, that's fine.
Two's fine. It's just not
fine.
it's like when
it's a little bit of a letdown.
When you watch the first one and then you jump right into the second one, you're like, oh, okay.
But
it's just not as good, but it's fine. It's like a perfectly okay sequel.
This has the ability of being modern and having young actors, and Michelle Williams is always good. She's always good. She's always been good, and she's always
also,
good. Adorbs.
Love some Josh Hartnett.
Yeah, right. Young.
It's when he was doing like The Faculty.
Yeah.
Which is a dope movie.
And so it kind of captures that teenage slasher, which the original really was a teenage slasher.
And also Jamie Lee Curtis is such a badass.
She is.
You know, she's like, I think she did say something like, I will only come back and do this if I can kill this motherfucker. And then Resurrection was like, I will only come back if I can be in it for 5 minutes and get paid a fuck ton of money.
Yeah. So that's my other high. What's your other high?
My other high, now, aside from Halloween 3, which I've talked about a lot on other pod episodes, which are now, you know, platinum and legendary.
It's a season of the witch.
That is a height for me. I love that movie. Yes, it's completely separate from anything, including Michael Myers. It's just a great movie. I don't know why they included it in the franchise. I mean, I get financially why, but just watch it on its own. It's the best.
It's its own standalone.
Dan O'Hurley
just call
is
it
the bad
Season of
guy.
the Witch. It's not a Halloween movie.
It's amazing.
I mean, it's a Halloween timelined movie.
Watch your kid's head turn into bugs. But my other height of the franchise itself is Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Now, this is it's a height and it has some frustrations, but that's not the fourth movie's fault. My frustration is the fourth movie introduces a bunch of things that the fifth and sixth really fumble. Now, the fourth introduces Jamie Lloyd.
About it.
Let's do it. It starts off right away. Jamie Lloyd, played by a very young Danielle Harris, who is phenomenal in this. She plays the daughter of Laurie Strode, who died in a car crash and is dead. She's not in the movie at all. You just see a picture of her at one point in the beginning. Now, that makes her Michael's niece. So Michael is being transferred, and the dum-dums in the ambulance with him make mention of his niece. And while he's in his coma, he wakes up and kills everybody and escapes. So Loomis, hearing that he's going to be transferred, shows up at the hospital, and, you know, he's pissed. And at this point, you know, at the end of the second movie, the last time we saw Dr. Loomis, he was being burned to what we thought was death. So now he's like real fucked up. He's all burnt up and he's limping, but he's still after Michael. And at this point, he just believes Michael is a completely evil, inhuman, unstoppable force. So he's not fucking around. He chases Michael as Michael returns to Haddonfield. He gets to Haddonfield. Michael lays siege to the town on Halloween, looking for his
niece, which is his only connection to his sister.
And also, like, her foster sister, Rachel, plays a big part in the movie, and, you know, she's blah, blah, blah. So that's the essential plot. And now this movie does a couple of things that I thought were really great, and one or two things that I could have done without. Now, the Jamie Lloyd storyline starts off great. Danielle Harris plays the character really, really well. There's a lot of parallels to the first movie, and this iteration of Michael is, I think, the most terrifying one since the first movie. In this movie, he basically kills everyone with his bare hands. The first person he takes out in the ambulance, he does so by putting his thumb through their skull, like through the right between the eyes, just right in the hardest part of your skull. He just pushes his thumb through. He crushes.
He's stronger.
Yeah, he like crushes people with his bare hands, and it is truly terrifying because, like, the moment he grabs your collar, you know, he even grabs your shoulder, he can just pulverize your bones. You know, it's just kind of reminded me of how, like, you know, the xenomorphs have acid blood. There's just another level to Michael in this movie of lethality. So that's a huge height. There's quite a twist. Spoiler alert for a movie from the 80s. Danielle Harris, like Jamie Lloyd, like right at the end of the movie, snaps and stabs her foster mom with scissors, wearing a clown costume because that's what she's going at Halloween. And it's like very much her becoming Michael Myers, because that's exactly what Michael did as a child that got him locked up in the first place. So actually a pretty amazing scene. Loomis comes around the corner, sees it happen, and he tries to kill her. But the cops stop him, and he's like destroyed. He's screaming. Like, you can see he's broken because it's all happening again, and he can't stop it again. It's a bit of a abrupt twist, but there is a moment right before Michael gets killed for the last time where he touches Jamie Lloyd's hand, and I guess you're supposed to believe there's some sort of transfer that occurs there, but that's not made clear. Because
some of these Halloween movies go very supernatural and off the rails a little bit with it.
I'm going to get into it in my lows, but by the next movie she has a psychic connection with Michael. So like, the thing is, though, in the movie that you're watching at this moment, that's not made clear. You can see her touch his hand, and they're like, don't touch him. But it's not like there's a zap or some shit. Anyway, she just really abruptly... It's a very cool ending, but it does kind of come out of nowhere.
The actress played a different role in
the zombie.
Halloween 2.
Yeah,
and
Halloween
then was
2
later reprised the same character in the Rob Zombie.
Yes. Tina, I think.
No.
Well, whatever.
Annie.
Now, Halloween 4, I think, is a really solid entry. The thing is, by the end of the movie, the cops and locals shoot Michael like with 100 bullets. He drops down a mine shaft, and then I think in the beginning of the 5th movie, they drop dynamite down it. So at this point, Michael has become a completely supernatural being. He, in the first couple movies, he's just a really strong, like, psycho fueled by, like, crazy rage. And he's extraordinary as a human, and Loomis calls him evil, but it's like he's the most evil being. Like, he's inhuman, but he's still like a human blood and guts being, you know? But by this movie, he's straight up like a monster.
So your recommendation is 1, 2, 4.
Yes, with the understanding that it is diminishing returns, and then H2O. I love H2O. I think it's when I first saw it, it confused me a little bit because it eliminated the previous 3 movies that I had sat through. Including the 5th and 6th, which were, I felt like I deserved a reward. And H2O was a good movie, but it was like, hey, fuck all of that other stuff. It's that's kind of annoying.
So.
Yeah, but it's also like, I understand that these get written by different people. They're produced by different people at times, and the incentive to make them is usually money. However, I would prefer you fix the problems instead of going, hey, forget about all that shit, right? It's just, it had a very element of like,
here's the thing about how
returns.
H2O, it was tight.
It's a good movie.
Very tight action, very
It started right away.
Yeah, there was no it was conservative in its, plot. No weird side stories that were distracting and annoying,
cults,
which I'm going to talk about in one of the lows.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we get into the low?
Let's get into the lows.
So my 2 lows are number 8, Halloween 8, which is Halloween Resurrection.
Which is a real Weinstein joint.
Which is technically, I guess, the follow-up to H2O, although there's nothing other than Jamie Lee Curtis making a cameo, I would say.
Yeah.
It's directed by Rick Rosenthal, and it's starring, wait for it, Busta Rhymes.
Oh, at the height of his crimes.
Tyra Banks, and sadly, Katie Sackhoff, because she's incredible.
Yeah.
And this is not good for
No.
her. Anyway,
but, we all know the acting abilities of Tyra Banks.
They basically take the same concept that New Nightmares took, which is, let's make a reality show about this house where Michael Myers killed in, like let's make a documentary, a reality show.
It's
meta. It's
2000s Weinstein, like, oh, this is a great idea.
There's a new reality website called Dangertainment. Right there, you can stop.
They probably wanted to call this Halloween.com.
I'm not even going to talk about what it's about because it's not good. And
it's like insulting.
Obviously Michael Myers finds out that this is happening and he goes and kills everyone. And it's not good. It's
after
dumb.
He puts his head back on.
It's almost like one of those mock movies about,
like, Scary Movie.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, a fun fact about Halloween 8 Resurrection. This may be, now to our younger listeners, you may not know who Busta Rhymes is. To our older listeners who does, you may have forgotten there was a time Busta Rhymes actually could make requests like this. He had it written into his contract that he could not lose a fight to Michael Myers.
Oh.
Which is why he does surprisingly well in this movie.
Yeah, he does. Interesting. Yeah. That's really interesting. Listen.
He only agreed to do it if they did that. And let me tell you, again, there was a time when major movie franchises would go, we have to agree to whatever Busta Rhymes wants us to do.
It's a survive the night. We're being filmed for this reality website. I need to make money as a teen. Michael Myers really comes in and kills everyone. So, and then it's whether the responsibility of the people that are filming keep filming or whether they run for their lives. And
how deep?
Yeah, it's
what a moral
it's not
quandary.
good. It's a waste of time. Don't watch it. I try not to be so negative
Lock
about
it in the
movies.
Disney vault,
we try
man.
really hard. We
It
don't like to
sucks.
be, but that's all I'm going to say on it. That's a low.
Well, listen, we can shit on movies that were cynical cash grabs done by serial rapists.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
My other low
Mm-hmm.
is Halloween 2018. Now, when I first saw it, and this is the David Gordon Green reboot, Laurie Strode.
Mm-hmm. Now,
One,
you're just talking
two,
the
and-
first one or the trilogy
I'm
itself?
just going to talk about the first one.
Oh, which arguably
Was the
is
best one.
The best one of the three.
Yep. But I've rewatched it multiple times now.
Multiple times.
Yes.
No, I'm just saying.
It's starring Jamie Lee Curtis, Judy Greer, and Andy Matichak as the granddaughter. And basically, it's as if H2O never happened. But it's the same type of thing.
Well,
but it's
also
40 years
none of
later.
it ever happened. Like only
Well,
the
1 and
first
2.
movie. Oh no, not two.
not even 2
Not
because
two,
they're not siblings.
She is not a sibling.
Right.
He only is obsessed with her because she defeated him.
And it does explain how Michael comes to get her again for some reason that he still remembers 40 years later after being in a mental institution and never speaking words.
Or using his muscles,
Right.
which have not atrophied.
But
her.
he has the ability
He's also
to
like still really
be
big and strong.
telekinetic because he gets all the other inmates riled up.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's
not
a
really-
documentary
Don't go into that though.
team that wants to interview Michael, and that's a waste of a storyline because they just end up getting killed and it doesn't really make sense to the overall plot.
Nope.
It's just a way to get bodies. And that's what annoyed me about this movie. I want to raise my body count. And this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to put rando storylines in the way so that Michael can just destroy them.
Yeah, it was like the late 80s Friday the 13th movies where he's just killing drifters that he comes across and you're just like, okay, it's just to have more bodies.
The interesting part of this movie is Laurie Strode's survival.
Her PTSD.
Aspect. I mean, she's
fact that
not
she's,
able.
like,
she
crazy.
She cries randomly, but she fortifies this place where she lives in a way that makes sense. And then all of a sudden, her daughter, who doesn't want to have anything to do with her, does all of a sudden want something to do with her, and all of her training kicks in. It's not good.
Nope.
It's a disappointment. It is not necessary. We did not need this movie. Michael Myers had his head chopped off by Laurie Strode 20 years before this movie came out by an axe. We don't
Not
need
according
to
to this
then
movie, he
see
didn't.
him be burned alive. And then guess what? David Gordon Green gives us 2 other movies
Two
after
more
this.
movies.
So it's a low for me. What are your lows?
My lows, yeah. So, just very quickly, the Rob Zombie movies, they're bad. They're really, really bad. I like Rob Zombie a lot as a musician. I've never really liked him as a director. I know a lot of people like Three from Hell and Devil's Rejects. I'm not one of those people. These movies are aggressively not good. I agree with your lows. Resurrection. I think the entire reboot trilogy progressively gets worse and more like inexplicable. Like, it doesn't make sense.
The David Gordon Green reboot.
Yeah, by the time Halloween ends comes up and like most of the movie is about a brand new character they're just now introducing who's also a killer. It was like very strange. None of it, not only did it not make sense creatively, it didn't make sense on a like, why would you even fucking do that as a writer? Why would you do that? You have all this power and money to make this movie, and this is what you did with like, it is so weird to me. But in terms of like the original low, Halloween 5, up until that point, you had a pretty solid franchise. Halloween 1 is the classic. And this
is the curse of Michael Myers?
Yes. It's the classic of all time. Halloween 2, perfectly solid sequel, not as great, but it ends pretty well. Halloween 3, it confused a lot of people because of the title, but it's objectively a fucking great movie.
Nothing to do with Michael Myers.
Nothing to do. Now, the 4th one, The Return of Michael Myers, like I said, it's pretty good. It's a real return to form. It's got a cool subplot about like vigilante justice gone wrong. So
you're probably like primed. Oh, yeah. Okay, they got it back on track.
And listen, they definitely are going a little supernatural with stuff because Michael does some things he shouldn't be able to do necessarily. But the twist at the end, there's a lot of interesting stuff ready to go. And then Mustafa Akkad said, holy shit, this movie made a lot of money. Everybody still really likes Michael Myers, even though 3 was confusing. Let's rush a movie into production before a script is done.
Yeah.
So by, like I said, at the end of the movie, at the end of the 4th one, Jamie Lloyd stabs her foster mother with scissors, and it's really cool. It's the whole first-person camera through the eyes of a plastic mask, just like Michael Myers in the original movie. So it's like full circle, right?
Just like violence begets violence. Let it be that, but then it has to be...
Donald Pleasance has this very, like... He's such a great actor. He has this cool, heartbreakingly screaming, no, like... And you can see and hear in his voice, like, the failure of his life, as like he's unable to stop this endless cycle. And then the 5th movie comes along and it turns out, no, first off, her foster mother's not dead. She got stabbed a bunch of times, but she lived because because Jamie Lloyd's not actually bad. She was just traumatized. And now she's in an institution. And also she has a psychic connection to Michael. And I mean, also there's a man in black who's traveling across the country and at the very end of the movie comes and rescues Michael. And that's, I mean, they pick up on that. It
sounds very convoluted.
Look, they pick up on that in a big way in the 6th movie, not in a good way, just in a big way. They do explain who the man in black is, but they don't explain it in this movie. Mm-hmm. It's like very, very obvious that like a lot of very weird shit happened because no one knew what they were doing. Now, the reason for that is pretty much solely down to the director, the first time and last time director in the franchise, Dominique Othenin-Girard, who I think there's a story, kind of the lore is he got the script and the first thing he did upon being hired was throw it in the trash in front of Mustafa Akkad and be like, I'm not doing any of this. So he invented the Man in Black. He came up with the psychic stuff. He set all of the Cult of the Thorn supernatural shit up. So all of the worst stuff that happens in this movie and then continues in the next movie is down to one guy that they hired. At Halloween 5, Mustafa Akkad regretted it. The critics hated it. The fans hated it. Everyone was really excited after the fourth movie was such a success and such a return to like what everyone liked about Michael Myers. And this movie just was like all of the worst excesses of lazy filmmaking and money-driven, 80s studio stuff.
Well, I appreciate David Gordon Green's efforts to kind of give Laurie Strode this kind of vigilante, I'm going to kill my Dementor type of thing. But you should have just done it in the one and cut it down by like 20, 30 minutes.
David Gordon Green and Danny McBride famously wrote like dozens of drafts. It took them years to do. In that time, did either of you dudes talk to a woman? Ask them like maybe how they might respond to a traumatic experience? Because
after 40 years.
Yeah. Look,
and you raised a daughter
Curtis,
who's very well adjusted to life after you raised her to be like a kind of military like protection person.
She does a great job with what she's given, but this is like really clearly a movie written by men. And I think it suffers from that.
And I don't understand why we had to keep going. And also all the side stories.
The side stories are the worst part of it. First, okay, so the Halloween Kills, the middle one, is basically just let's bring back the original actors who were children in the 1978 Halloween. So you don't recognize them. We're just bringing the actors back, right? But it's not like bringing Mark Hamill back as Luke Skywalker, because I don't know who this now 50-something-year-old woman is, because she was 8 in the original.
And if Michael Myers
and then you get to see her like wearing a slutty nurse costume. And the way that particular character dies is Michael Myers opens a car door on her hand while she's shooting a gun, and she shoots herself in the face. So if the idea is to bring back the legacy characters to honor them, you didn't.
Also, here's the question in the continuity, and I guess David Gordon Green will answer this by, well, it's one and then mine. So there is no supernatural element to Michael, but how does he keep living? So there is a supernatural element. Now, if there is this kind of like higher mind brain where he can control the inmates, right? Why hasn't he escaped before? Why isn't he killing everybody in his incarcerated mental hospital? Why isn't he using any of these mind games on anybody? Why is he such a good prisoner?
All the bullshit in the first one.
But as soon as he gets out,
oh yeah,
all he does is kill.
For 40 years. For 40
years, you haven't hurt
he stands
anybody.
On like a weird outdoor
Maybe there was
chessboard.
something dropped that it was like, oh yeah, we have to keep him shackled because every time he gets a meal served, he kills the person. I don't think so.
I don't remember that. But what I do remember is the whole stupid thing with the doctor in that movie, which, by the way,
where it was like, I studied under Dr. Loomis.
This reboot,
it was bad.
It steals a lot of shit too. Like that's basically the doctor character from Friday the 13th, either 6 or 7, like the creepy doc. I think it's 7 with the psychic girl, and
right?
Like that was that guy. The town rising up and stuff. That was all Halloween 4.
Yeah.
And then, it just...
Building the fortification, they stole that from Scream. Sorry, David Gordon Green, but you stole that from Sidney Prescott when she fortified herself in the Scream movies and trained and had all this stuff to protect herself from Ghostface.
The bullshit with... I can't even remember his name, but that killer from the last movie, that was a lot of Friday the 13th Part 2. I mean, it was just... Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. It just didn't make any sense. And again, it not only didn't make sense story-wise, the making of this didn't make sense. Like the fact that they made 3 of these movies like this.
Yeah.
I at a certain point, like, how many tens of millions of dollars do you spend on trash before you're like, hey, let's fire everyone involved with this and like give the money to someone who's hungry?
And I want good things for Jamie Lee Curtis always.
And I look, David Gordon Green is usually
but it's
a pretty
time
solid
for Laurie
director,
Strode to
except, you know,
be retired. I mean, maybe
used to
she
be.
should have died in that car wreck.
I think so. This is honestly my conclusion to the whole thing. Now I know we ended on the lows, but remember we started positive, and we do love this franchise.
Yeah, and we'll wrap it up to what our recommendations are. What you sit down and watch.
I never ever want to see another Halloween movie made. I think this is a franchise that can end completely. I don't think it ever needs to be rebooted or restarted. I don't think there's anything to explore. I think the magic elements of John Carpenter, Deborah Hill, of Jamie Lee Curtis and Donald Pleasance, they're gone.
Yeah.
You're not getting those back. And that's what made the movie, not some IP that is so like the fucking El Dorado, like the Philosopher's Stone. It's not the IP itself that you can just hand to anybody and they're going to make something perfect. It was those four people, and like a lot of other people, but those four people made this beautiful thing. We're done, folks. We're done.
With that said, though, my recommendation for what you should really engage in Halloween franchise-wise is 1 and H2O. I know you're missing 2, but that's my recommendation. Watch Halloween 1 and watch Halloween 2. H2O, and you will have a satisfying bookended conclusion to the original.
I have several recommendations, just like several timelines. Now, I agree with you almost. If you want storyline, you know, that makes sense, is concluded, and with the least amount of bullshit, I recommend watching the original Halloween, Halloween 2, and Halloween H2O. If you want a sort of completionist set, watch 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. You're going to get some and 7. End with H2O.
Wow. Who has the time?
You're going to get some shitty ones in there, but that will give you all of the main like storylines. Now, my fun recommendation, if you want to watch the best, is do the one I said earlier. Watch 1, 2, and H2O. That gives you the storyline. And then as a side project, watch Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, and watch Halloween 4 The Return of Michael Myers. Not for continuity, not for lore, not for like whatever, just because they are both really good movies. They don't need to fit in anywhere. Just enjoy them for what they are. For the saga, for the lore, for a story that's wrapped up, 1, 2, 7. 1, 2, H2O. That's it.
Now, come on, people.
Everything else is
creatives
balls.
out there. You must be able to come up with a new horror villain.
It's not the creatives. It's the people greenlighting this stuff.
Well,
there's lots of, hey, you know what would be really great? A movie version of The Ballad of Black Tom starring, I don't know, Lakeith Stanfield. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Something like, there are so many writers out there creating like beautiful, mesmerizing fiction dying to be adapted. I love you, Stephen King, but I think even Stephen King at this point might be like, is anyone else ready? Is anyone else out there? And the answer is yes. Just green light the stuff. But no more Halloween movies, everyone. We had our time.
What I said is we can come up with another villain that's as scary or scarier than Michael Myers.
Ghostface became an icon.
And here's the thing.
We're now reaching
Here's the thing why Ghostface works is because it's not the human person. It's a mask. They did really well picking Ghostface being a mask.
Yeah.
Not a person.
Yeah,
Michael Myers
sure.
fails
in every
because
movie,
it's a person, and now we're supposed to believe that this is an almighty person who never dies.
It's also multiple people. It's in every movie. I think it's more than one
the actor
Ghostface.
that plays it.
No, but there's more than one Ghostface.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Ghostface is the mask.
Yeah.
Michael Myers is the person.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. Or the resurrected.
And you can't
Celtic
keep a person
god.
around. And like at this point, He's what? In his late 60s or 70s?
Look at what happened with the...
No, seriously. The Halloween Ends Michael Myers human person.
Oh, that was hilarious. I know.
Would be like 70 years old.
He's
at
basically
this point?
like in his late 60s, and he in Halloween Kills, he like murders an entire platoon of firemen with an axe, and it's like an old fucking man.
You don't see
He's
him
like the
working
same
out.
age as John Malkovich.
You don't see him like lifting weights or working out.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, that's the part that really kills me is how many drafts did you guys write? And this is the one that you went with?
Well,
Fuck's
we
sake, man.
hope we gave you a lot of insight into this very complicated franchise.
It is, but it's
there are
it's legit.
gems.
There are gems, and it's worth it. When you love
is.
something, you have to love it for everything it is.
And
that includes Busta Rhymes.
You can carry Michael Myers in your heart for as long as you want.
Yeah, you can. And we will always have the 37 movies and 15 different timelines. No need for more, right? No,
Correct.
Hear what I'm saying, Spider-Man?
Yeah, I know. Can we move on?
Well, this has been Terror in Tandem, Octerrorfest, H2WO, hyphen, Ultimate Juggernaut.
Halloween watch list.
Bye, y'all.
I met him 15 years ago. I was told there was nothing left. No reason, no conscience, no understanding, and even the most rudimentary sense of life or death, of good or evil, right or wrong. I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.